Stop making new offers. I mean this. If you have spent the last few months trying to find the perfect entry offer, the one that finally fills your high ticket spaces, I want you to stop here because you are not missing an offer. If you are an online business owner, you have already made 6 or 7 figure in your business. You have a pile of offers already. I'm sure about this. And the truth is that you don't ever know how you can put them all together. So you end up having hours and hours of teaching that no one is seeing or even buying right now as you have moved on since creating something else. Hi, my name is Gwen. I'm the funnel queen. I'm a backend sales strategist and I help female founders build the business model and the systems that sell their offers, whether they post on that day or not on social media. I have worked with over 1,000 women, and the most common thing I see in women making money online is that they have so many offers. Okay. They are creating them one after the other, and those offers are never to be seen or bought once they are done. And they are leaving so much money on the table by doing this and training their audience to only buy low ticket offers. So by the end of this episode, you will know exactly what makes a $27 customer upgrade into your 10K offer, why your low ticket buyers, they aren't upgrading right now, why building another entry offer is not going to fix it, and the 3 things I built with every single one of my clients so that one buyer moves through everything they sell. And I'll also tell you about the 3 clients I'm in the middle of working with right now and what we are doing. So here is what most women do when low ticket buyers aren't upgrading. They assume it's because of their marketing. So it's a marketing problem. And so they go and they question their brand. They question how they show up online. They question if they show up with enough authority. Maybe they need to change and wear a blazer or do something else. Or they hire a coach, okay? A coach who tells them that once they position themselves better, they position themselves for high ticket buyers, a $27 client is going to magically transform into a 10K client because now she finally sees you as the one. And listen, positioning matters. Okay. Branding matters. Messaging matters. I am not going to sit here and tell you all of the things do not matter. But here is what I see after building this work with over 1,000 clients, as I have said. And it's this. If people are coming into your world, okay, they're buying your low ticket offer and then they don't move up, or at least 20% of them are not moving up, it's almost never because your content is doing something wrong, okay? And it's logic if you think about it. Like those people are already in your world. They don't need to binge your content on social media to go into your high ticket offer. It doesn't matter if you show up with authority in your social media content or if your positioning on Instagram or if your messaging or blah, blah, blah is doing X, Y, and Z because that's not why they upgrade. Okay. That makes sense. We are not talking about attracting someone new from your social media content. We're talking about someone who's already here. We're not talking about a stranger. Okay. So the fact that they don't upgrade is not about your content or your positioning. It's about your delivery and the offers. And I'm not saying the offer itself, but also all of your offers, because sometimes they will compete with each other. So they don't know what to do. And so they don't do anything. And when we look at your offers, I bet we can see that you have created tons of low ticket offers. And that's not to point the finger at you. Like that's what I see in so many of my clients. All free offers or quizzes, by the way. And what you are doing is that you're actually training your audience to buy low ticket from you. And because low ticket can be your business model, which is also completely fine. I'm not saying that you need to have high ticket offers, but what you are doing is that you're training them to be in something. Okay. So maybe you're training them to be in those free masterclasses or into those low ticket challenges or whatever, instead of being into your long-term space. So your long-term membership or your long-term mastermind or your long-term signature offer. And if you haven't structured the free or the low ticket offer properly, of course, they're not going to upgrade. And that makes sense, right? That's why they are not upgrading. That's not because of your messaging or your social media content. But before continuing on this, let's agree that it has nothing to do with you showing up as an authority in your content, your positioning, and everything to do with the offer itself, because this is important. And I feel that so many of you are really taking the advice from social media on it is because of your marketing, and your marketing is going to get people through the door. But what is going to make people upgrade is not your front-facing marketing. So the work is not here about finding one more offer, finally the one that is going to magically upgrade all of those people. Okay. Will we create another offer? Maybe. I cannot guarantee that we won't, because this is not black and white. By the way, it's not like with all of my clients, we always reuse all the offers that they have. Do we? Yes, mainly we do reuse the offers that they have because they have a shit ton of it. But sometimes we also create another one because we see that there is something that is actually going to be better suited for people to upgrade into the high ticket spaces or into their longer term spaces. So business is not black and white. Okay. And everyone who says otherwise have not had businesses for a long time. Okay. They may have a very successful business since 2 years. But business on the long term, okay, and if you're playing the long game, it is always not black and white. It's always in a lot of a gray, okay? And that's also something that I'm going to talk about today. So the work here is a little bit annoying, okay? Because we have to pause for a moment, and we are fast mover. We love to go fast, create another thing, move on, move on, move on. And it's going to be annoying because you're going to have to pause and to think about what you actually want. And you may think, what does that have to do with the clients coming from my $27 offer to my signature offer? But it has everything to do with it. Okay. What business model you want, not the one you think you should do. Okay. Or the one your mentor has done, like the one you see yourself in 10 years still loving. This is one of the reasons why people are not upgrading. Okay. If you look really at your business model, at the offers that you are creating for your business model, are going to support your energy, support your clients, support you in how you are delivering, you are going to be very singular in your industry. And so depending on your answers on what I have just said, we will from this look at your signature offer architecture. We'll look at the architecture of your low ticket offer and structure them so people can upgrade. Okay. Because it has to do with the structure. It has to do with the delivery. It has to do with the different offers that we have together, because that's an ecosystem. Okay. Every single offer that you have, if you have just 2 offers, or if you have 6 different offers, they're all going to gravitate around the sun, and the sun in your business is your signature offer. That can be a membership, a mastermind. It doesn't matter so much, but you have a signature offer. So now let's walk through the 3 things I build with every client so that they have what I call the one client ecosystem, which means that you have an ecosystem of offers that satisfies one client. Okay. Not a beginner and an advanced, one dream client. And that's why it's so fast for them to upgrade. Okay. So what element number 1 is to get clear on who your dream client is. And what I can say already is that 100% of my clients come to me certain that they already know their dream clients. But the truth is that, yes, they know their dream clients, okay, and you probably do, but their offers are not actually talking to the number 1, top number 1 dream clients that they have. They are talking to a watered down version of her or him or their. Why? Because the version they want is huge, okay? The version of the client that they want to speak to. And the version they secretly think will say yes to this particular offer is the person that she's actually talking to in her content and in all of the things. So then you start attracting, even in your $27 offer, not the right person. So this is the only angle where, yes, we will have to look at your messaging and the positioning, but we will look at it from the low ticket offer. Your positioning and your messaging, when done well, has absolutely nothing to do with people upgrading, okay, because they're already in. So that's why we want to look at the offer, but at the dream client. So the first thing we do is go back and decide who the dream client is for your signature offer, okay? And then this person, okay, this person that really that you want, by the way, for the long term, okay? Because every single offer underneath has to be built to lead to that exact upgrade. If your entry offer is designed for a cheaper version of your dream client, then of course she's not going to upgrade because you just attracted a cheap person. If you build the bottom of the journey for a different person than the one you want at the top of the journey, then of course it's not going to work. So this is the most relevant piece that people are actually skipping because they think they already know their dream clients inside out, but they don't. The $27 buyer and the 10K buyer have to be the same person. And if they're not upgrading from your $27 offer to your longer term spaces, that might be for this reason. So now our number 2 element is to work backward and actually decide your business model. Okay. And I talked a little bit about that. And I want you to know that once we know exactly who you're building for and your dream client, we have to work backward and decide what you want. Okay. Do you want a high ticket business model? Do you want a low ticket business model? Do you want to have a low ticket membership model? Do you want to have one offer? Do you want to have 3, to have 5? And you may be thinking, well, I don't know. Yeah, then how can you expect people to flow in between your offers if there is no logic in your business? So let me ask you the real question. What do you want? And you may have to pause this and actually ask yourself, what do I want? What is the business I'm going to lead in 5 years? Not today. Okay. Today do not matter in business. Like, do not make decisions because of today. Okay. Not what I will do, Gwen Ferreira. Okay. Not what your last coach told you to do. Not what Sarah, the super famous coach at the moment, is doing. Okay. Because if you pay attention, and you may wonder why, because you are for sure looking at other people around what they're doing, noticing, oh, this is working, or maybe I should go into this direction. I want you for a moment to notice that every single woman who is making millions right now was in the same situation as you. Okay. And those women, if you look at, let's say, 5 women that you think about who are making millions and that you're like, wow, you're such an inspiration, because they are so inspirational. I want you to look at their business model quickly, and none of them is doing the same thing. One is doing low ticket with ads. One is doing high ticket. One has this type of offer. One is doing all organic and doing this. One is doing mainly with podcasts. One is doing Facebook. One is doing Instagram. Everyone has different type of offers with different type of sales channel and different ways of doing things. So the more you start copying someone, the less you're going to match, by the way, those women, because you are always going to be a replica of something. They have all completely different models. They have different offers, different structures, different rhythm of launching and selling. And the moment you start copying someone, that's the moment that you try to have a hot business model in your own business. And that's when you lose. Okay. And you're not a loser, you're a winner. Okay. So let's not do a loser move, which is to replicate business model is not ours. So we don't borrow a model. Okay. We design the one that fits the woman who you are, you. Okay. And the life you actually want to have, and not necessarily now, but like in the next 5 years. And then everything else gets built on top of that exact decision. Now, our last element, okay, is really to get out of the testing. I see so many of you right now being in the testing phase. Okay. And this is our last piece, but this is very, very important because so many of you need to stop being in the testing. Okay. You are not a beginner anymore. Okay. And it's not because I'm saying this as you shouldn't be testing anything. Okay. But testing as a phase, as like, I'm going to see if this is working, I'm going to do this, and then depending on the result, I'm going to see this, and you have to make decisions, okay? This is not productive. You try a new entry offer, okay? Then you tweak it, then you tweak the price, then you tweak the positioning, then you tweak the messaging, and then you're going to ask your audience, what do they want now? Okay. No, you are acting like a beginner when you do this. Okay. Who doesn't know her clients, but you are not a beginner. Okay. You have years of data. You already know what works for you when you deliver something for your clients. And there is really this problem of seeing something that works or something that is a possibility, or stopping wanting to be in our lane and be like, oh, maybe I do this way. And then looking at different ways of doing things, which is cool. But I want you to know that this is good to do when you already have a repeatable and predictable sales system. Okay. And people are upgrading. So this is done. Okay. Then you can play around. But people should be upgrading from your offers. And the worst version of this is when you go and ask people. So what I was saying, like, you go into your stories and then you say, oh, everyone, like, what do you need? Tell me, what do you need? What do you want? And then they tell you, you spend time creating this, building this, and then barely anyone buys this and join, because And everyone has done that, by the way. But there is a difference, and I'm sure you can feel it, between people pleasing your audience and taking the seat of the leader who builds what they actually need. You know what your dream clients need, and you have to stop to talk to a version of her who is not your actual dream client. You have to stop people pleasing your audience. You have to stop this testing phase, because this is what is blocking you from scaling. So instead, we design a clear client journey, one that is going to take someone from curious about working with you to loving everything that you say to stepping into your long-term spaces. This has nothing to do with your marketing, okay? Each offer is a piece of the puzzle, okay? And each purchase making the next one obvious. So every time they buy, they're like, oh, of course I'm going to buy the next thing there. But if you have offers that the delivery, the curriculum, they compete with each other, this is not going to work. This is not an easy customer journey. You don't know where people come from. How do they move through the offers? What is happening? Okay, that is the huge difference between having a pile of offers and having an ecosystem. Let me show you what this actually looks like in real life now, because you will imagine that with every single client I take, we start by mapping their funnel, because everyone hires me for funnels a lot of the time, but we actually don't with the client that I work with long term. And my mastermind is 12 months. I don't do short term stuff. I have actually 3 clients right now where the first thing we had to do was to rethink the entire business model and the ecosystem. And I know that that might be scary, because you think that you just need to fix your positioning or build a funnel, and we do things for you to have a lot of result fast as soon as you join in. But in parallel of this fast result, we want to build for the long term. We want to play the long term game. Okay. And that is not by fixing the positioning or building a funnel immediately. But as we have agreed on before, that's not the thing that changes how many people upgrade. Yeah. The marketing, the offers, and how you deliver is what makes people upgrade. To give you another example on the work we did with one of my clients, like she came to me with a funnel that would probably make 30K in a year. Okay. When we looked at all of her offers, the volume, everything, like this would have made 30K. And after redesigning the customer journey, her funnel can easily make 190K in a year. It's crazy, right? To think like 30K to 190K. We haven't even changed her positioning, her messaging. She's the same authority. She's the same way. Like it hasn't moved, but we just changed the client journey, the journey that the client is taking as soon as they come and enter her world. We change also who it was for. So we're very clear inside the offers, okay, in what is happening, in what we are calling in, and also in, of course, all the sales pages of those offers, who is this for? And they all lead to each other. So even if people were not receiving emails in between, having a funnel or so on, people will upgrade because of how she's delivering the offer that is made in a way that we know those clients will want to upgrade. This is proven from the data of her audience. Okay. So we're not plugging in data from my audience or from what I have seen. We are plugging in what we know is already working, even though you feel that you need to improve this. That is what playing the long game looks like. So let's finish on this. At the start, I asked, what makes a $27 customer upgrade into your 10K offer? And now, it's not high level positioning. It's 3 things. Okay. The dream client at the bottom being the same person who you want at the top in your ecosystem of offers. Number 2, a business model that is yours, not your mentor's. And number 3, a journey designed on purpose to carry your dream client all the way through. And I know why you haven't looked at this yet, because for a long time, looking at your business model meant building something new, launching it, and cross your fingers that this time is the one. So you've avoided it, not because you are lazy, but because you're just tired of gambling. And it's fair enough, okay? And here's the truth. Designing your one client model is the opposite of a gamble, okay? We're not testing anything anymore. We're not hoping something is going to work. We build from what already converts, the work you've already done, and we engineer it into one journey. That is the work we do, okay? And that is ending forever guessing. If you recognize yourself in any of the things I have said today, if you are sitting on a pile of offers, you already know you are good and you're just tired of wondering why people are not upgrading from the $27 offer to the 10K offer, let's say, then this is the first thing that we build inside Elite Mastermind. So here are two next steps for you. If you are ready, DM me the word Elite on Instagram and let's talk about whether it's the right fit for you right now. If it's not, I will also completely tell you. And if you are not ready yet and just want to map your offers into one high converting funnel, then my mini course, your 100K funnel in a weekend is perfect for you. It's only $27 today instead of 111. So, and I will put the link down below for you. If you have any question, I'm here. You can send me a DM on Instagram and I will talk to all of you very soon. Bye everyone.